Hello.
Hi.
So can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Just a second, I'll just quickly check on the Facebook part.
Can you see me?
Yes, I can see you. Just a second, I'll just quickly check. Okay, so we are live and we have viewers now. So I'll start with the introduction. So hello everyone. Just have viewers now.
Just before you start, I can
Yeah.
hear some noise in your background. Can you turn it off, please? Now it's good, I think.
Now it's good? Yeah, great. So, yeah. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Facebook Live session. I'm your host, Krisha, and today we have a very special guest with us, Andreja, who is a certified RDI and behavior consultant. We'll be diving into the fascinating topic for the day, enhancing well-being, RDI and mindfulness for families of children with autism. So, as I'm done with the introduction part, handing over to Andreja, as our viewers are eager to hear your insight on this important subject.
Thank you so much, Krisha, for your introduction, and thank you for your invitation for Facebook Live on Autism Connect. To be honest, before I even start, I would love to say a couple of things about your organization. I'm very, very impressed with all work which you're doing worldwide. And your motto, we believe in action, it's incredible. What I discover on your website, and I put down all these wonderful things which I want to share with people, because I know that many people follow you and your Facebook lives, but what you also do, you post blogs on a weekly basis. They are really, really good. You have lives, as I mentioned. Also, you organize international conferences. And this is something what is amazing. And the other thing what you do, you organized some system for parents and other professionals. If you want to find out another professional for your child or for your client, you can just put your place where you're based and find according to your location the right service. This is something what I think it's really missing on our side. So it's incredible. If you want to find out more about Autism Connect, go and visit and search a little bit more. So thank you for all this incredible work that you're doing for us.
Thank you so much for your amazing words. We are really honored to have you on board with us today. And I hope the audiences would really love the session. So without further wasting any time, let's get started with today's session.
Thank you. So let's make the world a better place for all of us. And I always like to remind parents and professionals who I work with that any change we want to see in the world starts with us. So I promise that this live, I'm going to try my best. It's going to be fun. It's going to be spontaneous and honored talk from the heart. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, or if you're going to watch recording, feel free to get in touch with me or with Krisha Autism Connect, and I'm going to answer as soon as I can. So today's topic, we are going to talk about two big topics. One is RDI, relationship development intervention, and I really would love to share a little bit more about my work and what is RDI, who is RDI for, how does it work if you as a parent or educator want to educate yourself more, and if you want to start with the RDI program. And on the other side, I will be talking about yoga and mindfulness for children with special needs, children with autism, and also for grown-ups. So let's start with, I would love to share a little bit more about myself. I first began working with children with diverse needs in 2010 while working as a primary school teacher. And that was actually a great experience for me because I learned not just how to work with children with special needs, but also what does it mean when children are involved in mainstream schools. And on the other side, I've learned a lot about parents. And one thing which I've noticed that parents, they don't get enough support from schools, they don't get enough support from other professionals and from the community. So during this time, I started to work in the field of ABA and decided to study applied behavior analysis with the Florida Institute of Technology. Although I learned a lot through ABA, I felt something was missing. And I think the most important bit for me at that time, what was missing was this parent support. I felt like parents were excluded from the whole therapy. In 2019, I learned about RDI, Relationship Development Intervention, and I felt it was the perfect program to tie together my experience and beliefs about working with children with special needs and their families. And of course, I study with RDI Connect Houston, where Dr. Gaston and Dr. Shealy, the founders of RDI, delivered my training, and I learned from them so much. I'm these days an RDI program certified consultant with a passion for helping families and professionals to better understand children's needs. I love helping families to be the best they can, supporting parents, helping their children with the challenges and obstacles they face and make developmental progress. On the other side, as I mentioned at the beginning of our life, I'm also a yoga mindfulness teacher for children and adults with autism and all other diverse needs. I am based in London, but I work with families worldwide. I work remotely. So if parents decide to go with RDI program and they approach me, if they are in different city or in different country, we do our online training online. I also provide yoga and mindfulness for children one-to-one, and I see children in a group settings as well. And one more thing which I would love to mention at this time is that I will start to supervise RDI certification program in November for anyone who wants to become an RDI consultant. So let's start now a little bit more about RDI. What is RDI? Who is RDI for? How does it work? So RDI program is a program which is designed for parents of children with autism and all other diverse needs. It helps parents to it educates parents get education through RDI program, how to live life 24/7 for their children with diverse needs. It is often described as the missing element in the treatment of autism because instead of focusing on symptoms, our program works to activate the growth-seeking drive essential to address the challenges associated with autism. With RDI program, parents take charge of their children's growth, and this is something what is very powerful. RDI programs teach parents and educators. On the other side, I like to say educators as well, because we start with parents, but we know that when we talk about autism and learning, teaching children with diverse needs, we don't have only parents, we have educators. So RDI techniques later on, after parents start with training, educators can benefit a lot as well. in home setting and in school settings. So RDI programs teach parents and educators how to guide their children and students to seek out and succeed in a truly reciprocal relationships while addressing key core issues such as, I'm going to go through some of them, guiding relationship. One of the most important thing what we see in a very early stage, that guiding relationship between parent and child with autism is not as it should be. So we train parents how to guide their children through everyday life, through everyday activities. And I'm not talking here about parents to become therapists. RDI is not about that. RDI supports parents how to guide their children through everything, whatever they do and go through with their children on a daily basis. Then we have self-regulation. It's so important. We know that if children are not regulated, they are not ready to learn and they will not reach their full potential. So through RDI, again, parents get that education how to recognize when their child is not regulated, what to do in situations when their child is emotionally too sensitive, or when the child is overexcited, for instance. And so what steps to do and how to help child to self-regulate himself in a better way. Also, we train parents how to help children to co-regulate more. We know that co-regulation is such a big part as well, and in child's life, and not just in child's life, in our world, whatever we do, we need to co-regulate with the world around us. Motivation. We train parents a lot on how to help children to develop their intrinsic or inner motivation or desire to engagement. We work on this component, communication. We spend a lot of time creating the best strategies and to help parents to help their children to communicate, to develop functional communication. And when we talk about communication, it is not only about child, it's a lot about us. So what can I do as a professional or as a grown-up around child? How can I improve? How can I model my language? Maybe that is not just the words which I'm using. Maybe there is maybe I talk a little bit too fast, or I'm not clear, or I say many things at the same time, or I don't give a child enough time to process. So you see, there are many components which are involved in communication, and we always in RDI start with parents, because parents are they are the best model for their child. Then we work a lot on episodic memory, on attention shifting, self-awareness, very big topic, independency, flexible thinking, and creative problem solving. Those are some of the main targets which we are trying to work on when parents come to us. And one other thing which is beautiful about RDI is that RDI, doesn't only train parents and help parents to help their children with their obstacles. We also work on parents' obstacles. We know that parents go through a lot on everyday basis with a child, not just from the moment when they got the diagnosis, even from before. So you see, it's a lot under the RDI program, but the beauty is that RDI involves everything, whatever parents struggle with their child with needs. The primary goal of the RDI consultant is to give power back to parents. RDI includes an intensive parent training, and when I say intense parent training, after the assessment, parents start to meet with a consultant frequently, especially at the beginning. We attempt to see parents more frequently, and then as the child and the parent, as they both progress, we fade out our service. And our goal is to not stay forever with a family, to fade out when the parent is ready. So it's a parallel process. On one side, we guide parents to guide their children, and then on the other side we have parents, they guide their children. So RDI, the mission of, or the role of RDI consultant is to help parents to discover their own strengths and obstacles, and overcome the obstacles and enhance the strengths on one side. And then on the other side, empower the parents to help themselves with whatever that is. If parents struggles with, let's say, time management, or to find more time to engage, we help parents with this side. And on the other side, as I mentioned earlier, we discover the strengths and obstacles of their children, and we guide parents to help children to and to be able to guide their children through life. So a trained RDI consultant works with each family to develop an individualized set of objectives that may include, I'm going to guide you, I'm going to run you through some objectives so you can get a little bit bigger perspective. How does it look like when you go through with RDI program? So one of the things which we do is to simplify the home environment, to slow down the pace of life. This is something what we are helping parents with, and to balance the entire family schedules and life outside of a special needs diagnosis. The RDI program believes that making lasting, meaningful, and lifelong changes begins at home. This is so important. So it begins at home with a child's parents first. And that's why we start with parents, and we believe that every parent is the most important person in child's life. And the strongest, the biggest model is parent. I also want to say here that RDI is not a behavioral therapy. We don't use rewards or treats to get child to do certain things. But that doesn't mean that we don't want to see positive behaviors like listening, responding, and wanting to be part of the learning process. We simply treat behavior as an information. For instance, so when you see your child acting out, pay attention to what might be happening. Is something triggering them? Is there something you can change about the environment or about the learning process that can see your child up for success? I could talk more about challenging behaviors and what to do and how to do it. It's a huge topic, and but I'm gonna leave you here with my message. So when you see some undesirable or challenging behavior, just stop there and ask yourself, is something triggering them? Is there something, what kind of information my child or my student is sending right now to me? What is the message behind? Some of the RDI goals and objectives. Recover, restore, and understand autism is, and when parents come to me, I very often I start to work from this part. So very often parents come to me in crisis. They don't know, they haven't been taught how to accept the diagnosis, how to go through the stages of accepting the diagnosis, how to rebuild or restore hope and a new perspective. So I guide parents step by step in that first stage to accept the diagnosis, to go through the crisis, and to restore hope and gain new perspective on their mission for on one side, and on the other side for their child and their child's future. Then the other big part is prepare for mindful guiding relationships. So there are many components here involved, but step by step, I go with parents through this part of how to become a mindful guide, how to guide child 24/7, how to find a balance, how to stay healthy as parents. We know that these days, if we are not, I mentioned earlier self-regulation and regulation in general, but we know if I as an adult, I'm not regulated with myself in start, I'm not able to help child as I should. So very important part is this part, help parents, give parents tools how they can keep balance, how they can self-regulate, what to do when, for instance, child is refusing to engage, when the child displays some challenging behaviors, when the community outside in the world doesn't support their family, and so on. So self-regulation and keeping balance and staying healthy, they are very important components, and they are part of RDI goals. We also work a lot to overcome child's obstacles, overcome parents' obstacles. On the other side, we spend a lot of time on functional communication. And there are some other things like basic mindful guiding. What do I mean by that? Support management. So I train a lot parents on how to scaffold child, how to prompt child, how to teach child in a way that child really learn or achieve all the goals and targets and become independent as much as it's possible. Very often I see that we prompt children too much, that we don't scaffold in a right way, or we don't fade, and then we have situations where, okay, child can do something, but if you do not support as a grown-up child is not able to do it. So through RDI, we really focus, okay, how much we can support child in a right way, and how can we scaffold in a right way when we teach child, whatever that is. I'm not just talking about academics, I'm talking about everyday life, independent skills, things around the house, everything, whatever life brings. So how can we scaffold for the child on a right level so we can step by step fade our support out and help child to become more independent. Okay, those were some of the objectives. I know that time is running out, so I will run through this quickly. What can I do, or what are the first steps if I want to find out more about RDI, or if you want to get on board with RDI, if you want to start with a program? First, what you need to do is to find your consultant. So RDI works the way that we have all around the world certified RDI consultants. So if you as a family or as an educator want to get trained more in RDI, you have to find your RDI consultant. The best way is to visit www.rdiconnect.com, and they have on their website, they have consultants, the list of consultants from all around the world. Then you get in touch with the consultant and see if you connect with that person. I think it's very important that when you have a person who is coaching you, who is guiding you, that you connect with that person. And after you find your consultant, the RDI consultant set up date and start with the assessment. After the assessment is done, then you start with the program and targets. And you start to meet your consultant regularly on a weekly basis, once a week, or it depends on the whole situation. I like to start with the families more often at the beginning. I want to see them more often, and they, as they progress, I fade out my meetings. And of course, it is so important that you meet regularly, that you practice whatever your consultant advise you, whatever objectives you have for your child, that you practice them. Doesn't take long time. I always say to parents, you don't need extra time. You spend anyway time with your child. So it's more about implementing RDI strategies into your everyday life. And keep consistency. We know that consistency is the key with whatever we want to do in our life. And enjoy the process. Where do services take place? So parents training is provided through online meetings. In most cases, with me, this is how it works. So I meet with parents online. I know with some consultants, if parents live close by, they come and see them for those meetings, but with me, it is online. And another thing, what I would like to mention here, that the part of RDI program will include to video yourself and your child together. Videos are submitted on we have the whole RDI platform. So everything, your whole program, when you start, it's designed really good. So you get private space on the platform, on the RDI platform, and all your program and targets, everything is there. And it's very confidential, and it's only accessible to your consultant and to you. And you also video record a lot to being able to share with your consultant. So in your meetings, you watch those videos, and this is the way how your consultant basically gets the bigger picture, what's going on, and it's, get some higher perspective on what to train you and what targets to set up and what is the real situation at the end of the day. Okay. As I said, typically parent consultation meetings are online. I like to start with parents 4 hours per month for the first 6 months. So 4 times once a week, 4 times per month. Following this period, you may see your consultant less frequently. Let's say next 6 months, it's going to be maybe 3 times per month, or it's going to be every fortnight until you completely, until consultant completely fade out and you become, as a parent or as an educator, ready to guide your child or your student on your own. The frequency and format of ongoing supervision for each family is individual. It depends on the situation of the parents and the space of the parents and their progress and current objectives. How long does the RDI program last? RDI is flexible and designed to accommodate a range of needs and ages. Therefore, depending on your child or family needs, RDI can range from 1 to several years. As your child grows, your RDI program will continue to be customized to meet your needs. The other very important question which I receive quite often is, when can I start with a training as a parent or as a professional? There is no age limit. RDI program is designed for any age, for children and for adults. I had situation when parents approached me and the child was a year and a half old, and my oldest client is 50 years old. So it's never too late for RDI program. And another beautiful thing about RDI online community. So RDI is designed in a way that offers parents and educators as well very strong community. You can visit more, you can find out more about the whole community and how does it work. Even if you don't want to go with the RDI program, or you feel like it's not the right timing right now, you can still join the community. You can get a lot of resources, videos, articles, the latest research. It's really, really good. And I would highly recommend all the educators and parents to go and visit www.rdiconnect.com. Another big topic, I know that we are running out of time, but another big topic and my big passion is yoga and mindfulness for children with autism and all other diverse needs. And I'm very passionate about this. I do one-to-one sessions with children and adults as well, and I do group sessions, and I also train parents. Sometimes parents approach me and they say, okay, we would like to receive some training, and we would like to connect more with our children and help them more to get in balance, to get self-regulated faster and better. Could you give us some training or yoga and mindfulness? Of course, I'm always happy to do this way. But why yoga and why mindfulness? I remember when I took my first training on yoga and mindfulness, people, my close people, they were, are you crazy? Autism and mindfulness, or autism and yoga, they do not go together. There is no way that one child with autism can follow yoga. Of course, as a yoga and mindfulness teacher for people with diverse needs, people with autism, you need to have, it's not just normal yoga. You really need to know how to break things down, how to adjust poses, and not just poses, your language, your pace, your whole session with your child, and how to connect during that session with your child. So there is a way out, and again, it depends on the yoga teacher, but you need to have more knowledge around this. And it's beautiful when you start to do yoga and mindfulness with children with autism, if they like it, if that is something what they enjoy, you can get out a lot, and you can use yoga and mindfulness as a brilliant tool for self-regulation and for co-regulation and for connection. So the practice of yoga for children and adults with autism and other diverse needs teaches many skills, but perhaps one of the most important element is teaching them processing and coping skills, and how to respond to stress, worry, anxiety, and depression. We know that one of the biggest obstacles for children with diverse needs is anxiety. And I feel like we don't talk, not just talk, we don't give children with diverse needs enough tools to manage their anxiety. Many people with language processing difficulties and sensory processing issues experience greater level of anxiety and sometimes depression. Building connection, co-regulation, self-regulation, and teaching children specific breathing strategies, connection, yoga, poses and movements to support them in activating their nervous system, which is responsible to rest, relaxation, and all other things can help them so much. This is all what I want to say for now about autism and about yoga and mindfulness. I could go on and on much more, but just remember that whatever you want to do with your child, with diverse needs your child needs or your student needs to be regulated first with breathing techniques. I also like to incorporate a lot of breathing techniques into my yoga sessions with a child. Breathing techniques, connection activities, and yoga poses and mindfulness here, meditation can serve and can help children to regulate more and to learn more. If you want to find out more about my work, you can visit my website, which is www.autismconnect.net. You can send me an email. It's there on my website as well. You can visit my social media as well. And you can find me on Autism Community Inclusion and Acceptance on Instagram. And you can also visit my YouTube channel, Autism Community Inclusion and Acceptance. As I said at the beginning, if you have any questions, feel free to get in touch, and I'm gonna be happy to answer them. Thank you all for watching this live, and I hope that I help you to clarify to you a little bit more what is RDI about, who is RDI for, and how much you can as a parent benefit from RDI approach on one side. And it's all about empowering parents. I want all parents to empower themselves, to really feel competent and get that confidence out. Okay, I'm the most important person in my child's life. All other therapists are brilliant, and it's good that I have them in my child's life, but I'm the number one person in my child's life, and I can help the most my child, and it can be fun. As soon as I get started with training, with education, I'm gonna start to feel better and stronger, and I'm gonna help my child more. And on the other side, yoga and mindfulness, if you ever think that this is something what you should try with your child or with yourself first, get in touch with me. I'm happy to give you more information on this topic.
That was an amazing session. So thank you so much once again for being a part of this Facebook Live and for sharing your valuable expertise with us. And thank you to all our viewers for joining us today. If you found this discussion helpful, don't forget to share this video with others who might benefit. And stay tuned for more engaging conversations and valuable insights. And have a wonderful day. And don't forget to follow Andreja on her social media handles. And in case if you have any questions, I think she would be more than happy to answer them on the social media handles. And we would be tagging her as well on the Facebook and the Instagram story. So you can directly reach out to her through the Instagram profile. So thank you so much, ma'am. It was nice having you today for the session. And I hope our audiences have really got immense value after this Facebook Live.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Yeah. Bye-bye.